Hey, everybody. Tim here, Gray Man Poda, amateur radio call sign November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Guys, gals, it is Wednesday night, and you are here for the Ham Radio Kids Table live stream. Now, the stream will get started shortly, and while they're backstage getting things ready, make sure you look down below. Take a look at all those different content creators that are part of the Ham Radio Kids Table. Make sure you follow their channels. And while you're there, make sure you hit the like button for this live stream, and also share it with your friends. So grab a cold drink, buckle up, the live stream will get started shortly.
Hey guys, this is Whiskey Dots for Juliet Mike. Y'all may also know me as Jumbo Marshmallow, and y'all are watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
How's it going? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ, and you and I are watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
Hey radio friends, I'm Kevin, Kilo Echo Zero, Victor India Mike. My channel is the Traveling Ham. And today I get to activate this beautiful spot right here. But I'm jealous of you because you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table, where it's not your grandfather's ham radio. We have a whole seat for you, but you'll only need the edge.
That was wonderful.
Good.
Good after evening noon. Welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. We are not your grandfather's ham radio. We'll rent you the seat, but you'll only need the edge.
As Kevin Mike just said.
Vince.
Yeah, he didn't say it like that.
I know.
Yeah, he said it much better. No, I don't know. Vince is all like, you know what? Get out of the way, Tim. I'm just going to do it because we know what's going to happen, right? You're going to mess it up. You do it every week. It's almost like he does it intentionally. That's what Vince is thinking.
Because you're a slacker and don't have your cue cards.
Well, there's that. But does any great actor have cue cards?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
When they start out and you're still starting out because you're an amateur.
Mike's taking notes. That's good.
Yep. Good.
Man, I'll tell you what. Golly. Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Welcome. It's another Wednesday night. We are here at the Ham Radio Kids Table. And tonight, well, I didn't really have a topic, so I pulled one out of my rear end really quickly, only because I have been playing with a couple different 3D printers that I've had one for a while, and I grabbed the second one. Printers. And it got me thinking, it's like, what kind of alternative or ham adjacent hobbies do you have? And did you wind up getting into that because of amateur radio? Or I guess maybe the flip side is, did you get into amateur radio because of your other hobby? So I thought that might be a good conversation, a topic for the table tonight, and go around. But before we get into that, Jeff, tell us, how's your week been going, buddy?
Criminy crackers.
Crackers, huh?
Work's been loads of fun for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We had someone leave early maternity leave for an emergency. She's fine. The baby's fine. But it was too early and we weren't ready to deal with her stuff yet. And we've been struggling through it. Past 2-3 weeks has been kind of, if I didn't already shave my head, I would have been pulling out my hair already. But it's an adventure. It can be fun. It can be stressful. This week's just been, today was just god awfully busy. But hey, that's work for you. But after you get done with work, you just kind of relax, chill out, and stick your head in a blender to chill out.
Well, I do POTA. And I think that's one of the nice things about having the park so close to me. When I have those kind of days, I just go over there,
Yeah,
the radio.
I could do that too. I'm just like, I just got like this stuff to do, that stuff to do.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do some work on my car earlier, and I finally got the parts in today when I was planning on doing it, but I'm like, and I just worked a little bit later tonight, so I'm just like, okay, I guess I just got to do my regular stuff now, and didn't get a chance to. But yes, being near parks is nice. You could go out, and there's actually really nice weather today. It's kind of cool. It's like 70 degrees today, kind of chilly. It's really nice. It would have been a nice time to go out, but some people have to work during the day. Yep.
I
But there's always
I-
a weekend, so there you go.
yeah.
Weekends? What are those?
Well, those are usually Saturday and Sunday for most people.
Oh, okay.
Most people. I worked for probably about 18 years on a skewed week. Well, actually, it wasn't 18 because the schedules changed when I first started, but eventually, it was a skewed week where I worked Sunday through Thursday, and I enjoyed it for the most part because I had those Fridays off where I could get stuff done that I couldn't get done other days. So, yeah.
Awesome. Vince, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I am living the dream.
Are you
And saying it just like Mike would if he was doing me. Living the dream.
living
It-
the dream?
Yeah, living the dream. Yeah, there we go.
Boy,
I have-
Mike has a future in voice work, doesn't he?
Mike has a great future in voice work. He's
There
got a
we go.
great face for radio too, I might add.
Yeah.
And so I love you, buddy. It's been a busy week around here. Actually, I've brought on a couple of radios into my stable, and I've had an FT8900 that's been needing calibration for a while, so I swapped it out with one that doesn't. And I have my venerable FT857 that I've had for 20 years, and it has an issue with dendrites growing on the filters, the filters that are in the radios. Dendrites are little tendrils that come out of it, and it's a known issue with them. So every once in a while, I get a signal that has some really odd sound to it, kind of like an auroral sound, but there's no aurora around.
Yeah.
So I've been busy swapping radios around in my decks because I keep my radios on decks. In the back, the back seat of the truck, it's on a deck. And then I've been moving more radios around, and now I put a Kenwood 732. It's an older crossband VUHF radio. It's on my bench. I pulled it out of my Go kit, so now I have two 8900s in my Go kit because, of course, my Go kits have redundancy because they're designed for more than doing POTA. And so, yeah, it's been a busy week. And my online store, our online store, v6lk.com/shop, is now back online now that we have figured out all of the ways that we have to pre-collect tariffs to be able to ship down into our dear friends and neighbors in the United States. So we're excited, and I'm taking my first shipment out tomorrow.
I think we should start a smuggling service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's just not mention it on YouTube or anything.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. I mean,
that'd be a bad idea.
no. Now, like amateur balloon or something, we can secure a payload. And be like, guys, it's just a payload for amateur radio.
I know. We get Shane to fly the balloon from the U.S.
Oh,
to Canada.
there we go.
Just stay in the international airspace. Carlos can jump out, and then he'll drive it back.
That makes me wonder. Shane was talking about making a couple $1,000 flying a balloon the other day.
Right?
I wonder what they're doing.
Well, and the Southern Alberta Balloon Festival just ended. It would have been perfect.
Oh God!
I mean,
yeah.
I could have loaded him up with a bunch of stuff, and I could have, figured out who would be my fulfillment house in the States. But
There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
So-
Real quick, John asked the question about super chats. We do not have enough subscribers yet for super chats, but what I would say, if you want to help support us, make sure you subscribe not only to the Ham Radio Kids Table, but everybody here. That would be the best way to support us, and we do appreciate that.
And hit that thumbs up button.
Yep.
Because that helps the algorithm.
It does.
What's funny is the thumbs down button helps too.
You know, that's fine. Well, they took the way. Didn't they take that away? The thumbs down or something? Or
No, it's still there.
No, I think
They-
they,
oh,
took
they
that
just
aw-
don't show it.
They just
They-
don't show the count.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think Netflix did the same thing.
There's a lot of places. People were getting ratioed pretty bad during the times of COVID and on certain takes. And yeah, they pulled that away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Frank, how goes it in the land of California?
It's
The People's
going
Republic.
great. I big shout out to Mark over at Soda Plus. He helped me figure out that this monster adapter, quarter jack to 3.5 mil, was not working properly. So on my iambic paddle, I was only able to use. Oh, I was
Yeah.
only able to use. Now I have both. So
Thank
big
you,
thanks to
Mark.
Mark for that.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
I-
Mark.
I am learning CW. I have started the journey. Big shout out to Mike and Becky over at Ham Radio Duo. I'm expecting one of their keys in the mail today, actually. The mail has yet to come, surprisingly, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and it's 4 days delayed already.
Sounds like California.
I bet you know
Ah.
a guy, Frank. I've got a box here from Mike and Becky, and I bet it's a key.
I bet
It's
it
your
is
key,
too.
Frank.
Yeah, does that say Frank on it at all, Tim?
Yes. Well, I don't know. Did you get a Navy knob?
No,
Oh, no.
No.
no, I did not.
I'm afraid to ask what a Navy knob is.
It's the knob on top on a straight key.
Oh, I
That-
didn't know that's what it was called. Okay.
I think they call that a Navy knob or something like that.
Okay.
I think it had to do specifically when they were ordering those keys back in the day. A lot of times the Army and the Navy, they order stuff together for some reason for economy of scale. And sometimes they have a slight different need. And I think the Navy said, hey, we're on ships. We rock around. We bob up and down. We want a knob that our
Bob.
operator can hang on to.
Bob and Knob.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting on that. I've been intently watching my Ring camera. Like, is it coming yet? Is it here yet? Is it here? The post office was delayed 4 days, so it's been fun. But I've been practicing a bit, and there's been a few people who've gotten videos. One VE6LK included, with me practicing his call, DE my call, and well, Vince, how do you think I did?
Be truthful.
Yeah. Long
As
honesty.
as I'm crunching cheese and crackers for supper. It's a good beginner's start. That's what I'm going to classify it as.
Okay.
I'm going to say to you, go faster, practice faster.
I'm
Because
getting there.
if you learn it slow, it's hard to move up in speed.
Okay,
but
good to know.
If you learn it fast, it only takes you time to learn it fast and get proficient at it.
So I will say this, and Tim, don't dump me. That's about as quick as I can tap out CQ.
That was
Okay.
CQ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like I say, was that
That's it.
CQ?
Okay.
I think you were missing some notes.
That's C and Q. So
So I'm hearing NNQ.
That's what I heard too.
So
I need to
so
bring my
C-
spacing together.
So a C is dot it, not dot it. It's dot it.
So I need to bring my spacing together.
Yep.
Cool. See, I'm learning, folks. So
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Frank.
good, man. That's good.
Michael, Mr. Kevin,
yeah.
did a video a few weeks ago where he used a metronome on his phone, a phone app,
Oh,
and
have that's
for the
brilliant.
timing.
So okay, that's something to. Yes, Ape. I can CW worse than I can solder. Sure, we'll go with that. My solder jobs are better than my CW at this point. So that's what's going on with
Man.
me.
So there's no CW
Oh.
roids yet.
No, not yet.
Heaven
Oh.
forbid he builds his own key somehow.
man.
Or if I
Yeah.
or if I have to fix the bottom of this one. Because those are just solder taps.
Oh, is that the MFJ or the
Yeah,
okay.
from like 2003.
So my first key was not the chrome version of that, but just the black one. And same thing. Those wires on the bottom were about as stretched as you could get.
Yeah.
From the end there. So
Yeah. They're pretty well.
yeah, see what I'm saying? They're stretched right to.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, your strain relief isn't even over the actual jacket of the.
Oh, I know that's just
Yeah.
for me yanking it over all these years
Yeah.
and trying to get that back together. Is going
Jeff, do you want to say it or should I?
You're yanking it.
Yeah.
You're yanking it. Don't be yanking it.
See what happens when you yank it?
Guys,
He's
I'm
just
just
yanking
saying.
it the cable from his key, which is
we're past the
We're
3-minute mark.
talking
What?
about we were
Okay.
talking about the Navy knob. Now we're talking. Never mind. Let's just
You
not go
CW
there.
But
operators.
those keys that are like I'd call it hardwired in. Kind of they don't scare me, but I'm just kind of like tentative about using them. I mean, at home, I'm sure it's a good thing, but if you're kind of like out portable, doing Poda Soda or whatever, definitely
Well-
you want something smaller and something that's not wired like that or connected to the key like that.
So I have noticed with this key on the 9700, the dits and dots come fine. On the 710, they are super delayed. I'm going to blame Yaesu for that. And I'm not brain.
Did you make sure the
agnostic.
settings
I
were all
love them all,
correct?
but I blame Yaesu for that one.
I
That
do
sounds
know
like-
radios have like settings for CW, so were they all correct?
Yes,
Are you sure?
I went over them with Mark.
Okay.
That was our first step as we were troubleshooting the radio.
Did
and then he
you?
went, "Oh, ring out the cable, see if it's good." Well, the cable on the paddle was good. This was the bad part.
Did you call John Crunk?
No,
You should have.
Yes.
I do have him on Facebook, so I could message him and be like, "Hey,
I
what's
would.
up with the 710?"
I would.
Maybe it's your
I'd-
key. I don't know.
I'd do it right now.
MFJ.
So are you thinking something like the no name key here, or one of the ones that's
The
got,
modern
just got the-
Morse.
Modern Morse. I
jack
got
in
one
the-
on order.
in the back?
Yeah.
Did you?
It's
I
a
like the
nice
ones.
key.
I like the ones with like the cables and the jacks like that because
Yeah.
you could detach it and pack it up and carry it around. They're also good at home. I forget who it was. I think it was what's his name? K7 N7KOM.
Oh, Tim.
Tim, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Had that, and he had like a metal desk, and him or someone else mounted it underneath of it upside down
Yeah, that was
on the
Tim. He,
part of the metal desk, and that's just a great idea, I think, to how to like place that key. But like those ones with the wires that are connected and they come out, or even from on the other side, they just kind of scare me. Like those wires could just like come undone.
so that is, it's
the-
there. It's solid. It's you could take it apart and repair it. It's repairable.
Show me
in
the
that sense.
the back of that again, because I kind of missed it when you had it up.
Oh, it's
Oh, it's inside.
Yeah, it's just attached.
Yeah.
Come on, camera, get in there. Yeah, so it's.
So it's permanent. That cable's permanently attached to the.
I would have to open it up and disconnect it. Yes. So I like this, like Aaron's key.
Yeah.
That
I like
that's
the
got a-
plugs on both
just-
sides because, like, in the eventuality you somehow grab that cable, it gets wrapped around your hand or something, and you move away from its location. Hopefully, the cable comes unplugged from it. It's like magnetic, and it's cable pulls out from it.
Well, when
But
you're
anything that's with an attached cable, like I did it with my headphones. I've yanked them off my desk when I grabbed the excess cable from on the side here. So I will be getting hopefully a USB headset soon. But
Ape, I will
just
send
get tired
you
of it.
screenshots. And there, I more or less got it fixed.
I think you should cut all those
Rewire it.
connectors off and rewire it and do it as a
Yeah.
video with a hot
That
soldering
might be
iron.
an idea.
There we go. See, I'm good for something.
And some flux to prevent
Mhm.
solderites.
Yes, use the
I'm
flux.
past the solderoids, thanks to Jody. Actually,
Use the flux.
Hey, so those plastic, those little P loops, as I call them, that you've got there to hold that wire in place on the bottom of your key, that's
Yeah.
an MFJ 464. What I usually do with those is I wrap a loop around it and come out through the P loop. So I wrap a full 360. I don't just pass it through, and that way it prevents it from.
so instead of it passing through once, pass it through twice. Okay.
Yep, and that way it holds onto the wire without pulling at the contact or the connectors, the contacts.
And Jody sent me. Of course, it's not going
Oh,
to.
some rosin Corecaster. Look at
Yeah.
that. Nice.
Rosin.
So I'm set. I'm not using the Radio Shack stuff anymore.
There you go.
I don't think it was the Radio Shack stuff, just that it was probably beyond its expiration date, wasn't it?
Beyond, it was bought in 2002.
Wait, solder has expiration date. Tell that to my 30-year-old Rollercaster that I'm still using.
Apparently, it does.
I'm just saying.
Beats the heck out of me.
I'm no expert.
Okay. Me too, neither.
Yeah. I picked up one of these. This is my little, what I've been messing around with. So this is the tiny, what is it? Aura call it? The tiny MIDI
paddle.
It's a paddle. It's a tiny MIDI though. And what it does is it plugs into your phone, Android or
Yeah.
I just dropped out there, didn't I? It plugs into your either Android or iPhone, and it acts as the interface for your keys. So, if you're using like the Flex Radio, the Smart SDR software, or the Yaesu or the ICOM software, you can use this as your key while you're connected with your phone. It's got capacitive paddles on there, so you can do that. Or it does have a jack in the
Jack
back.
in the
if you wanna
back.
plug in an external antenna. Jack
Jack's
in the back. So
Jeff, tonight we're 2
Yeah.
for 2. These two have frozen or dropped out here and there, and we're still good. So,
Yeah, I'm surprised that I haven't had issues with my video with Restream. But that's a good thing though, if it's no issues with it right now.
Right.
So
And Mark said solder metal does not, but the flux inside sure as heck expires. So there you go.
just replace it. Just replace
Yeah.
the flux inside. That's all you gotta do.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna
Just-
get on that
just-
micro scale. And
Just suck all the flux out, all the bad flux out, blow all the new one in.
wait, you want me to do what, Jeff?
No, you just got to melt the solder and reform it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
you use a lighter.
Well, there we are.
yeah. So hobbies, Ham adjacent hobbies, and I've as you follow people along through the social media and stuff like that, you see that they sometimes they've tied more hobbies into getting out there events. And I'm going to just pick on you for a
With
second. I think
with
you've started,
of course.
well, of course, that's why I did it, because he couldn't fight back with me. But no, I think one of probably the more recent hobbies that I think that you've really gotten involved in it is taking these bike rides into
mountain biking.
POTUS now. And so you're mixing two now hobbies into one
Sure.
bigger activity.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, that and I add my love of photography onto it, which lends itself well to taking some still shots for QRP articles or doing video for YouTube. All of those things combine for sure. And heck, it's a heck of a lot of fun. And it gives me purpose for the bike that I spent thousands on. You know, so I can justify it to the home finance spending committee.
Well, you live in a nice area of the world where you have a lot of very nice scenery to go biking in. May not always be the safest, but those are just animals.
Yeah, they're just bears.
Yeah.
and
Um,
cougars and
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
And not the kind you find in bars that play 70s and 80s music.
But yeah, I mean, there's some places probably around here on the East Coast where you could do that too. I think a lot of places you need to be very careful with the bikes because I have seen many times that people on bikes have been hit by cars, so you got to be careful of where you're biking. I mean, you have probably like loads and loads of scenic trails and pathways to go biking on. Here is like people drive or ride on the shoulder of a road, or there is no shoulder, so they're on the very edge of the pavement. And I'm like, it's I always hate coming up behind bikers in that kind of situation because like and then you're really not supposed to pass them because it's a double yellow line or something like that. And
Well,
but you go 15 miles an hour for like 5 miles. I mean, that's insane.
yeah, well, and there's that for sure. And yes, I'm very blessed to live in such a really beautiful part of the world. But when we take a look at it, I'll wax philosophic for a second. And almost any one of these parks that we all go to are really pretty. So
Mhm.
I got a comment from somebody, and I can't find their name fast enough right now, about a video I posted a while ago. A Serene POTA activation at Fort Harrison Park. And Fort Harrison Park is just outside of Indianapolis. It's in Tim's part of the world. And I stopped there just before I dropped off my rental car at the Indianapolis airport to fly home after Hamvention. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely stunning with architecture, very reminiscent of a military base and officers' housing. And the whole area is indeed designated as part of that area. It's very picturesque. It looked like a movie set, frankly, to me. I've never seen like or the Canadian housing for the military isn't nearly as fancy looking as that stuff is. So it's pretty, but it's in pretty well flatland territory.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have mountains to find something pretty and to go
No.
cycling in.
I mean, to me,
No.
I do like the mountains. That's just how I kind of got interested in one of my early hobbies. But I mean, yeah, even around here, you could go like biking at parks and trails. And I know there are some parks that have bike trails and some that have walking trails, and some of them are combined. And that's a great place to do biking too. I mean, you don't have to be in the middle of nowhere to do that. But I mean, if you're doing it in general, I
Yep.
mean, it's not the smartest thing to do when you're doing it on the roadway. But I understand you have to get from A to B, and not everyone has like a car that can carry a bike or the bike carrier thing mounted on the car, or even a large enough car to shove the whole bike in there, or the bike doesn't fold to get in
Yeah.
there. But I mean, it's always good to be careful. Having a nice place, a nice safe place to bike is always a good thing. But
yeah,
just be smart.
And it is, and and it gets me out and breathing fresh air, and it gets me out of the basement.
Yeah.
And I might
So,
lose a few
I feel
pounds. That's not a bad thing.
I feel like Vince has got a new YouTube channel coming up called Bike Smarter with Vince.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I've been cycling since I was a teen. I gave it up for a while, and I've gotten back into it in the last 5 or 7 years. I'm not afraid to pull a wrench on my bike, just like I'm not afraid to pull a wrench on my radios. Because it's cheaper than hiring it out. And I might make some mistakes along the way, but well, that's all part of it, right?
And you learn.
So, yeah, well, I am exactly. So, and I learned that if I turn too tightly on gravel with a top-heavy mountain bike when I'm wearing a backpack, I'm going to fall and land on my knee, and I'm going to hurt my knee.
Uh-oh.
And
how's your knee doing?
I've almost got full range of motion back, but kneeling is still hard because of that fall I took the same day that I sprained it. So, yeah. So, no, I just discontinued the brace.
Oh,
so that's good. I'm trying to really let it stretch out and make sure it doesn't atrophy by wearing a brace all the time, right?
I
yeah,
have
it's
some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Did you
Oh,
break?
boy.
You broke the paddle?
Nice.
something just got brought to me.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so Frank ducked off the stream and he says, "I'm sorry, I have a family emergency to deal with." So clearly, family
Okay.
emergency is he's really damn excited about the box that just arrived.
No, you could have said
this-
someone's
this
at my
came in
door.
once I came. This came in once I came back in. Family emergency was
You
family
don't have
member
to tell
thought-
us. I mean, that's all good.
Family member thought she was
No.
running a fever and just a little high, but not dangerous. So
Over dramatic.
yeah, we'll go with that. Instead of being 98 point whatever, it was like 99 something.
All right.
Oh, Lordy. What's that in Celsius?
37.1.
Yeah.
There you go.
98.6 is 37.
37.1. Man. Yeah, so I've looking through the chat here. It looks like we have a handful of people who are doing some form of telescope or radio astronomy, which sounds kind of
And I
interesting.
took a comment off my channel, and AI7RK, mountain climbing, hiking, motorcycles, 3D printing, public service, volunteering. There's a whole bunch of bleed over. Yeah,
That's a lot of hobbies. Do you have time for amateur
I
radio?
think he
in there?
does.
That's okay. I mean, so mountain biking or I'm sorry, mountain climbing, hiking, things like that. Does he do soda? That's
I don't know. We'll find
Would
out
be
in
an
about
interesting-
85 seconds when he responds, given the time delay.
yeah. Yeah.
Ape, really? I looked up and saw Ape's comment. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Traveling Ham says, how about breaking into closed federal parks? Is that a hobby? It
Is
depends.
it worth to go in there? Is
It
it in a
depends.
building? Do you just have to jump a fence?
Right?
No. Is there danger?
Is there a chance
involved?
of getting shot?
Danger, Will Robinson.
I don't know.
Breaking into federal parks.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Besides, it's kind of against the POTA rules, right?
Yeah.
hobby
actually,
checklist.
for any park, really.
I like this from Frequency Frontiers. Hobby checklist. Is it expensive? Yes, then I'll probably enjoy it.
Dave has
Oh,
a good
yeah.
point.
I mean, any hobby
call
is expensive as you want it to be.
Yeah.
You can get into ham radio. Never mind your licensing fee, because that varies by the country. You can get in for $50, or you can get in for 500 or 5,000 or 50,000. It depends on what you want to get into it and get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny when I first got into ham radio, I bought a used HF radio, I bought an 897. Still have it. Probably will never get rid of it. It's great radio. But I'm like, you know what? This is all I need.
Yeah, I did the
Kind of got a
same
little
thing. It was
old.
Sounds like a
PX5.
movie.
You know,
Sounds like a movie.
991
quote. I
A.
just need this. I just need this Baofeng. That's all I
Mm.
need. I just
Yes,
need this
I'm-
Baofeng
that's
and
right.
this 891.
That's right. And that's pretty much how it went. I started with a Baofeng, right, for the portable. And then I needed that wasn't good enough eventually. So I needed to get another mobile radio, which I used that for a period of time, but then it's like, oh God, D-Star. Oh, hey, there's a used D-Star radio. So next thing, and I found myself, pretty deep with radios now. And not that I like ever really intended it, but it's just there. So for the longest time, I have resisted 3D printers. I'm like, I will never need it. It's toys. And then I'm like starting to buy some stuff. And it's like, well, I need to buy whatever, I want to print something. So I go to Etsy and I find somebody that can print it for me. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, man, I'm like every other day I'm ordering something from Etsy that I could do myself. So I'll buy a 3D printer. Here we are, a year and a half later. Now I'm buying a second 3D printer. Why? I don't know. Because it was
Tim,
cool.
Tim, we know
So-
we know why.
No, I have
It's
two of
because
them.
Jim egged you on to get one.
No. No, actually, I wanted to print some material that I couldn't print with the A1.
So you got a
That-
more
that was it.
expensive printer in a box kind of thing, right?
Yes, I got the P1S. And I was going to buy the X1, and the guy at the Micro Center is just like, if you feel comfortable changing the gears, and you could save some money by buying this in the upgrade kit and have the same printer essentially without the color screen. So that was fine until I realized I didn't care for the black and white screen. And so now I'm going to get a color screen upgrade kit.
Oh boy.
There we go.
I think
Well, that
that's
did
for
not take
lots
long.
of hams are like that. Lots of hams.
Yep.
I know
Yep.
I'm like
Although-
that too.
Vince, is that a your creation
No,
or was that a Jody
that's
creation?
that's a
'Cause I know
Vince
Jody
creation, and I didn't even
That's
save
a
it.
Vince creation.
That was the
Someone
web creation.
Someone
Alex.
go back and screen save the take a screenshot of the video. Thanks.
Man, you Canadians, man, you guys got a lot of cold weather up there.
No,
You're pretty
they
quick
just
on
have the
memes.
faster AI service. That's all.
Think so?
Okay, screen grab done.
There you go.
But I mean, we're all like that, right? It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
if you're into
Yeah.
photography, you want a lens that lets more light in and produces a crisper image, and that costs more money. But you can start with a small cheap lens, just like you can start with a small inexpensive CW key if that's what you're going to do. And
I'm
when
sorry.
I counted the keys that I have around here, oops, I think I've tipped a dozen. So I'm taking, or I've tipped 10 or something anyway. I've got that many. So I've got 3 actually going to the flea market coming up that I haven't been using.
Vince,
they're
I'm sorry.
nice.
Cheap lenses? Where do you find cheap lenses?
Any camera shop.
Basically the
Yeah, I
not
drop
the
at least-
highest priced ones that you could spend money on.
I drop a minimum of 1K at the camera shop.
Well,
Yeah, well-
there's the 1K ones, and then you got like the 5K, the 10K ones. I mean,
And there
Yeah.
is the $300 one.
yeah.
Who
That-
buys the $300 lens? I'm sorry.
Somebody who's starting out.
Someone that doesn't want to pay that
you
much.
got me with that.
So
You got
Okay,
me
right.
with that.
So just like a key, Frank, your first key wasn't a Begali or
Nope.
something really expensive. Same thing. So, right.
Well, this was like $600 at the time. So
Okay.
Did you spend that much on it?
yes,
Who's going to tell them?
Jesus Christ, Frank.
it was Ham Radio Outlet in 2003. It was the cheapest
it
key
was
they had
new.
at the time.
It was new. Okay, now I
And you
understand.
bought it 22 years before you even knew how to do CW, huh?
Before I even cared to try and learn, yes.
That's
I thought-
that's like the
okay,
hoarder
Jeff.
mentality. It's like, oh, I might need this in the future. I should just buy it.
No,
Oh, it's
here
on
was
sale for only $500. I think I'll buy it just in case I ever need it. It was
Here
on
was-
sale, so it was a good deal.
No, Jeff, here was
No.
the mentality behind it. I had taken my tech. I tried to take the general back when it was 5 words a minute. I missed it by like 2 words a minute. That's how close I was to passing to be a general. So I was like, well, if I get a key and I practice, then I would have been fine. But that was 02 was as I was going into high school, and well, you know what high school does. So this
Mhm.
got put
But
by
I
the
think my high
wayside for
school
the
experience
longest
is probably
time.
more different than yours.
I was the AV nerd, so yeah, probably.
Vincent, you mentioned what'd you say, 12 keys? I just said I've got like six of them, right? Well, I got 4 in my hand and a couple more
Well,
over here
yeah.
beside me.
I now own
It-
2.
They
so.
One,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5 on my desk. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
anyway, like any hobby, you get into this, right?
Yeah.
You
You
the
do,
first bike
yes.
that I bought when I got back into this 6 or 7 years ago was about $500 used. The second one I bought was $1,250 used. These are e-bikes. The third one I bought just at a zero. Yeah, I mean, you start working your way up
Hmm.
when you start to realize what you really want, and that's pretty normal for the hobby, right? So,
For any hobby.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I had some people. I asked this very question on Ham Radio Workbench, and I So some people have been sending me emails, which I invited them to do. Astronomy and photography.
Oh, that is
So
fun.
that's from somebody. That's a pretty common theme. Kyle says he is a storm chaser. He's a CBer.
Okay.
Severe weather photography, amateur radio, and travel. So that all kind of feeds into it. Steve says, if the email opens for me, model rocketry. Oh, that's interesting. So, I've met high school kids who've gotten into it because of either model rocketry or ballooning,
Same here.
right? Drew says, mountain biking, counting photography 4. The overlap is this: I love to mountain bike, but I actually make a living traveling in the southeastern U.S. building trails. So he can hit a repeater with an HT. It's been really helpful for him. So there's some themes that come across with this. Yeah.
So model rocketry, it makes me wonder if, and I don't know how many people do this, but at least here in the United States, I'm assuming in Canada too, part of I think the 2-meter band is set aside for RC radio controlled telemetry or whatever radio control. And I know a lot of people at one point that were in the RC community got licensed so they could use those frequencies and get away from everybody else, get out of the non-commercial space, so they could operate in an area that wasn't, so busy. And I'm wondering if that's still a thing anymore. If it's
think
probably not, is it, with the
VEing,
higher
we
frequency?
do ask people, especially young people, like, why are you getting interested in amateur radio? And they usually say, well, I'm taking like a rocketry class or an engineering class, and we're doing rocketry or something like that. And they never specify like what the radio is actually going to be used for. So I think it might be just for some kind of communication rather than controlling well, I don't think you really control a rocket. You shoot up in the air and a parachute pops out. But I think it's really for the communication. That's what they're using it for. There's been a bunch of new licensees that are from different parts of the country that are doing it. They're all in college, so I'm guessing it's for communication.
So Dave has it right here. Buy a boat and RV, it will cure the other hobbies. Well, boat stands for bust out another 1,000.
The 2 happiest days in a boat owner or an RV owner's life are
when they get it,
and they get rid of it.
I think with the advent of parks on the air, more people are doing like RVing and camping, because you go to a state or federal park with a campground, and there you are. You're there for like a weekend, and you could just play radio and just rack up the number of contacts at that park while exploring its history or scenery when you're not on the air.
Yep.
Or visiting the local town nearby to see what's going on there.
I wished I would have left Dayton a half hour earlier so that I could have explored a little bit more around that park around Indianapolis, because it's a super pretty area. I don't know.
Well,
next time I'm down.
Next time you're down, let me know. And and Vince, I feel so bad.
Well, you and I tried to connect that day, but you had to play in the data center that day or something.
What makes it even worse is, because you were going to come to Morgan Monroe, you're going to swing by over here where I was at, and I'm like, Vince, I'm sorry, I got to run up to Indianapolis and go to the data center. So I get up to the data center, I'm working, I see your video, and I think, did you put it out like that night?
I edited it sitting at lunch in the Indy airport, and I posted it from there.
Okay. Well, I saw that. And it must have been the same day. It must have been that night. And I'm like, crap, Vince, that was 5 minutes away from my data center. I could have snuck away for lunch and met up with you to do that.
Next time.
And that is on the other side of town, from the opposite side of town but to be fair, there's not too many parks. There's the one downtown in Indianapolis. There's actually 2, I think, in the middle of a busy town, and that's always noisy. But other than that, the only other one in the Indianapolis area proper is the one over there at the fort, which was an old Army base, and it was an active Army base up until about 2000 ish. So, so yeah, the housing over there is really nice. 20s, 30s, somewhere in there. But those real nice homes, those were officers' quarters.
Oh, totally. They're OCs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you get over to the POW?
All I got into, drove into the park. I drove past all the pretty houses going, wow, I wish I had more time to go drive around and look at them. I drove into the park. I found the picnic shelter that was quiet and away from everything. I did my stuff in the drizzle. So I was happy to have a roof over my head, and I had to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time. Hey, so look, tell us in the comments. We've been getting a few comments here. Tell us in the comments what your crossover hobbies are that you do ham radio with, and let us know. We'll chat
because of or whatever.
So I'm backwards.
And if you already
I'm backwards from everybody. I started out with scanners and 2 scanners, and then came into the ham radio hobby from that because we were driving around as a family one day, and I put in the old school Radio Shack scanner that had stuff pre-programmed in, and I hit the HAM button, and I was listening to 2 meters. I'm like, this sounds interesting. This sounds cool. So I was listening to 2 meter repeater. And hi, Shannon. Good to see you in the chat. And so I went to the library, figured out what it was, went and took my test, and almost became a general at that point. And the rest is history. I've always been a nerd anyway, so it just fed into my nerd hobby even more.
I think a lot of people in the hobby probably got started. Not a lot, but probably a good handful of people got started with the hobby because they were on some other form of radio, like a CB. Like I was playing with CBs when I was a little kid, and always been interested in a radio of some type. I was even kind of fascinated with the radio when I was like my clock radio when I was a little kid, how the music was coming out of it and everything. I was just amazed by it for some reason. I don't know why, but even when I got into music, the radio was still like a thing. Like you listen to the radio to hear your favorite song before it got released or something like that, so you could go buy it. And that was back when they didn't have online stores. They didn't have online.
You had to go and flip through the cabinets.
If you wanted to listen to a song over and over again, you had to wait by the radio and hopefully it was like an all-in-one big stereo system with the radio, a turntable, and a tape deck or 2, maybe even an 8-track if you're an older person. And you would just wait there to record the song when it came on the radio, and that you did that for every song that you liked, and that's how you listened to stuff over and over again.
And you cussed out loud when the DJ talked over.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. It's hard to make a mixtape with
very hard
talking,
to make a
isn't it?
mixtape. I love that comment that Bill shared with us a second ago. I like walks in the park, cool breezes, and CW pileups. That's great.
And Jeff, I'm going to make you feel great here. I had 8-track growing up.
I had 8-track too.
Yeah, but I'm X amount.
We get it, Frank. You're old.
Yeah.
Am I?
I had 8-tracks too.
Am I?
I remember my father had an 8-track player in his car for a while. I had 8-track player, a little toy robot called 2XL. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it played basically like a quiz game with 8-track tapes. How, I don't know, but it did it.
See,
45 said it. He said DJs talked over the music because of guys like Jeff. Because you're over here recording it.
Yeah,
they
especially like
near
the end of the song, they'd start yapping. I remember that.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, a childhood friend of mine, I met up with him back in college, and he was a DJ at the university's radio station. And I had another friend from high school that was also a DJ there. So I was able to call up to my friend's shows and have them play songs. And my high school friend had me and my other friends come down to the studio, and we would just hang out like late at night and playing songs we liked within reason, and it was on the air. Yeah, it was fun.
So here's an interesting statement. CB then technical, high school electronics, instructor was a ham, so my whole class got licensed. How many people had, well, I guess two questions, and most of us are probably old enough that we had some form of vocational education in our schools. But the other one is did you have, I guess, a teacher or some adult in your educational career that was a ham radio person, or some particular hobby that you eventually found your way to because of their influence?
Yes and no. Woodshop and no. I was the first person in school to be licensed. Yeah.
I don't know of
Yeah.
anyone in my high school that was in ham radio, but I wasn't even into ham radio back then. I was more into doing what I was doing, which I'm not going to talk about. But me and my friends, we were like, I wouldn't say we're band geeks because we were like probably like the most well-known people, in not like the trendy people that listen to the Grateful Dead and smoke pot and all that stuff, but or the rich kids. But we were like the punks, but we were like the band nerds. But in my high school, all the sports stunk, and the band was the thing to be in because we went places, we did stuff. The sports teams rarely did anything. They might have won a state championship once or twice, maybe, but the band was the cool thing. If you couldn't play an instrument, you helped the band out in some way. So, but yeah, we were like the punks of the high school, and that's when like punk was like big. It was weird. That's all I'll say. The other stuff I can't talk about.
Here we go. John says he does Arduino
That's
projects.
another like that with Arduino and Pis and connecting them to radios and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And somebody says hunting for venison and chasing tail in the middle of and chasing whitetails in the middle of nowhere. Yep. And radio is good for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Hamman CT says former Navy ET. Well, fire controlman rule the boat. That's all I got to say. He'll know.
And Jeff has the comment of the night for the win. There was this one time in a band camp.
I was actually going to bring it up either last week or this week, and then I completely forgot about it. I was actually going to just quote that out for giggles. But there was one time at band camp where Dennis, I can't say anymore. He had the entire band laughing, and I can't say why, but
At least not on air. Got it.
So Jeff Kilo Sierra 0 Juliet Delta said cars and girls, and that's funny. As a scout leader, we used to joke about about 16. We would start to lose boys in other activities, right? So we always called it the fumes, the perfumes, the gas fumes, and so we would start to lose the boys.
John's got a great comment here. John Hummel, you'll grab that and post that up. The one thing about amateurs radio is there's so many offshoots that there's something for everyone. And as Jeff has heard me say when he and I VE'd together,
and I've said it too.
Welcome to ham radio, the hobby of 1,000 hobbies.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of ham adjacent hobbies that have nothing to do with ham radio. We just all seem to be interested in one form or another. The 3D printing it's not necessarily a ham radio hobby. It has nothing really to do with electronics or RF, but it's something that
you could
a lot of us do.
You can make your own stuff. You could accessorize your radios or your antennas. Like you could print out like a faceplate for your I was gonna say Elecraft radio, but I couldn't think of the model. KX1 or KX2 or whatever, or like your FX4CR or your little QMX radio or whatever. Or I printed out a few BNC covers caps for some
Yep.
of my stuff. You can print out little boxes to store your other little stuff in. You can
Your
make
dinguses.
the wire wrappers stuff to wrap your antennas and counterpoises with. I mean, there's every time a new radio comes out, there's going to be a few people that will start making accessories for it for one way or another. Which is great. It isn't ham radio adjacent, but you end up, like you said earlier, you start buying stuff off of eBay that other people printed. And now, especially during like the holiday times, some printers are darn cheap enough in people's budgets to spend some money on and do it themselves. And why not? I'd call it kind of adjacent,
Yeah,
but it's like
so-
an accessory kind. I don't know.
Well, here's a good example. The thing that I got
Mhm.
from Aura, its original case was just black. It's plain. I was like, yeah, I want some
And there's
flair. I want
people
some flash.
that built that
Uh,
stuff, and then they released the
STLs.
the STL files.
files,
Thank
yeah.
you, Vince, and whatever files, and you could print your own with whatever color. And if you want to put a little embossed call sign on there, you could do that too. And 3D printing is like the hobby
the little
for other hobbies to accessorize your stuff with.
it's a
like
gateway.
like
It's a
I
gateway
like
hobby.
Olight flashlights, and on the Facebook group, someone took a 3D printed AA battery box and accessorized it with multiple colors and the embossed Olight logo on the top of the box to hold a certain size flashlight that
Yeah.
they have. And because people collect flashlights, all the different colors and patterns and all that stuff. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be in the ham radio to print accessories. I mean, like I said, it's a
No.
hobby to accessorize other hobbies with.
Well, it's something that's interesting, and just thinking about that, Mark Hughes,
Echo.
Boondock Echo. Mark, I just saw his name pop in there. Yeah, it's one. He's started a company based out of a side hustle in amateur radio. He saw a need and he started doing it, and so hobbies can eventually become something that you can make money on in one way, shape, form, or another. I mean, whether it's you design an antenna, as something that the next thing you know, somebody else is interested in it and is willing to pay you a few bucks for the material or the design or the effort, that you've put into it. So there's a lot of cool things out there. Center Snare at Kansas State. I don't know what's going
we were
on.
talking about music and band and band camp, and
gotcha.
that comment came up a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a drummer.
Yes, it's
He's a
usually the
drummer.
drummers that do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Cooley uses an antenna trolley to hold his paintbrushes. Cooley, is that a quirky QRP antenna trolley?
Is there any other?
There might be.
I've seen some larger ones that hold. God, what was it? It was at HRO, and I can't remember what it was holding. I know I think it had the Heil microphones on it, but it was holding something else, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know.
It will return.
Yeah, because I spent like 10 minutes playing around with it.
He said, yes, it is.
'Cause I was waiting for someone to make to spend some money.
Jody, no. I'm not going to touch that one.
So Jody a little bit ago said that he was on a meme detox. And I find that hard to believe, but I figure if anybody can give Jody a fix to get him past this detox, Frank, I think it would be you. I'm sure that you could do something
That I could do
that would
something. Oh, boy.
cause Jody to break down and meme it. Yes, I feel it. I feel it.
Cody, just do it. Just
So
do it, Cody.
something that I saw Cooley had mentioned, and I put it up there, art, which is kind of interesting because it's a completely different area. It's like it exercises the other side of his brain, which I think is kind of interesting. I haven't seen anybody else. Usually it's hands-on, or well, I guess art could be hands-on too, but not necessarily intellectual.
Oh, he has his 1 hour coin, Tim. We need to keep him going.
Oh man, I'm hearing quitters.
Don't
what
worry,
I'm hearing.
he'll be back Saturday night with all the great memes. Jody, I'm holding you to it.
What? Why wait till Saturday?
Vince, you're muted.
No, I was
Yeah.
whispering to myself. Actually, I'm not muted.
Oh, okay.
But thanks for thinking of me. I was reading what
No,
Mark posted. Has anybody ever put a bazooka ballon, a sleeve ballon, on a J pole? And I haven't ever heard the term before, a bazooka ballon or a sleeve ballon. So I had to kind of read it out loud to myself. a
Yeah,
few times.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wasn't really thinking or wondering. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. I was like a bazooka
Hollywood
ballon.
has, and they work well, apparently.
I'm gonna have to look up sleeve ballon.
Yeah.
I think Mark should just jump on here and explain
With
it to us.
pictures.
He knows what it
Yeah.
is. Oh, a sleeve ballon. Sure, I've seen that now. It's a current ballon, a form of a current ballon.
Yeah. Dave says life's short. Share that inappropriate meme today.
Jeez, if that can't get Jody to do memes, we have some
Mm.
serious issues.
Yeah, indeed.
And Cooley says he has a ham shack and an art studio in his.
Is it one room or
home.
two? You don't want to be throwing your paint in the air and getting it on your nice radios behind you.
Like, yeah,
I don't know, man. Maybe you could flare up your radio with some paint. You know,
maybe
you saw
he's
Mike, right?
Kind
in
of
that- in
Jackson
his
Pollock
video.
is 7610.
You could get a speaker,
Yeah.
put it on the floor so the speaker faces up, and put like your
Oh.
canvas down on top of it, and just pour paint and then blast the music out of it, or any kind of music. Like if you want to do like some kind of classical thing or some metal or something different, I mean, and then just have the speaker vibrate the canvas, and then paint will move wherever it wants to go depending on the music.
Or the CW.
And I've
that you're
copyrighted
listening to.
that already, so thank you. No, but people do some weird stuff with art and paint and stuff. So that's just like you use sound to move the medium around.
Mic in one hand and a paintbrush in the other.
That's the way to do it.
There you go.
Good to
Well-
see you, Gary. Have a good evening.
Yep.
Well,
See,
Tim, what
Gary.
about you, man? Like, what do you cross over with?
So the 3D printing is kind of the other one. I do a lot of IT stuff, but that's, I don't know. It's professional because I do get paid for it, but I've always treated my job like a hobby. And I do that because exactly. I do that because it keeps me excited. I don't take it too seriously. I'm very professional at what I do, but I can walk away from it. And at 5 o'clock, you know, I turn off 5 o'clock. I'm done. If there's something that needs me there, if I need to be there, if there's something broken, I'm there 100%. But I walk away from it. There's guys, and I got wrapped up in this too, right? You know, when email started to become a thing and being connected at home and getting connected to VPN and people checking their email at home. I mean, I got wrapped up in that too. You know, you want to be there. Next thing you know, you're answering emails at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, 2 a.m. you're on doing stuff. And I walked away from that, you know, and I decided that my job is 8 to 5 and I treat it like a hobby. It's a hobby I get paid well at,
All right.
which makes me
Yeah,
feel a
right
lot
on.
better.
That's cool.
But Yeah, it kind of
Pure
treated
P
that way,
Life
so.
says a recent hobby has been fountain pens for logging. So is that like
I understand that.
that's like with the
Okay,
quill
okay.
and everything, and like the calligraphic script and all that, or who knows? We'll find out in a minute.
Cool.
Find out maybe about a minute and a half. So there we are. I'm gonna find some channel links and drop them in here while I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
'cause-
I have all our channel links
All
ready.
right.
So what
Oh.
are you waiting for?
I don't have your chat up. I just have kids table up though.
punch it, Chewy, because it's that time. So nobody said Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars, nobody said that.
As related to
Ham radio.
I don't see that how you could relate them two together unless
Oh, now, come
you're
on.
like a LARPer or something, and you're LARPing Star Wars and you're using radios to communicate with each other, like you're in the Millennium Falcon, you're talking to someone in the gunner's chair or something.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Everybody, hey Mark, everybody got their first dose of sideband
Yeah.
because of Star Wars, 1970, whatever it was, 77.
The comms between the rebel base and everybody, that was sideband.
Red 5 standing by.
It was.
Yeah.
That's right.
Roger.
Roger.
Good,
Mark,
man.
how you
How are
doing,
you
buddy?
guys?
Good.
Living a dream.
It's
Living
been
a dream.
too long.
So double bazooka sleeve
Yeah.
Balin?
So you can build them in two ways, and I don't have any coax handy,
I
so
gotta
I'm
get-
going
I
to
gotta-
use and pretend this is my antenna, and then what we would do is take a quarter wavelength.
Hold on, Mark. There we
There we
go.
There we
We
go.
would take a cylinder that's about a
Hey.
quarter wavelength,
Real quick, I
And-
for safety,
and you
that
wrap it
is not
around the base.
powered on, is it,
And I don't know if you guys know, but the energy in an antenna doesn't actually travel in the wire, it travels in the dielectric material. So as you're coming out of the center conductor of the coax and you've got a shield, the energy's in that dielectric there. And then once it leaves, once it gets out of that coax, there's no putting it back. It's going to radiate out into space, and then some of it's going to come back and it's going to radiate down the outside of your wire, and that's common mode current that we don't like. So the theory is you take yourself a quarter length cylinder and you wrap it around and you tie it into the shield only. So now as the wave's going out and it's coming back in, it goes into that cylinder and you've got a quarter wavelength with a positive and a quarter wavelength with a negative, and they cancel out. This was not the best
okay.
antenna, but this is what I had handy.
I was just hoping that was not hot.
Well, so I heard it explained a little bit differently, Mark, if I could for just a minute.
Sure.
Oh, hang on. Let me put Vince up in the big and
Hang
window
on a minute,
there.
I'm not quite ready for it. There we go. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
golly.
I'm trying to get pencil and paper going here.
Oh, you're getting fancy. Okay,
We're gonna
well, if you have
bazooka.
pencil and paper, I'm just going to cede the argument to you now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to pencil and paper it here. There we
I
go.
don't- Mark, you
So-
brought
Yeah,
props.
that's just what
buddy.
I had handy. So.
Here's the way I understood it from John Portune. If you take a close-up look at a piece of coax,
You're not in focus, Vince.
I know it's not in focus. I don't know what I can do about that. Come on, darling.
Zoom out just a little bit.
I might win this after all, Tim.
That'll be good enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
There we go.
There we are.
It'll have to do.
My auto focusing is not working, but look, you can see this dot, right? So that's the center conductor of your coax. I'm sorry for the blurriness. And RF travels on the skin of the conductor. And so on a center conductor, it's just traveling on the outside, and that's all there is to it. And now you've got your dielectric material, whatever that is, and now you've got your outer shield. So with this solid core or even a stranded core, the RF is only going to be on the outside, the skin effect. But on the shield, it's going to be on the inside of that shield surface and on the outside shield surface. And so that's what creates, oh boy, you really can't see that. And that's what
No.
creates the difference. Hang on, I'm going to grab a piece of feed line. I'll be right back.
You need a Sharpie.
So,
Looks like,
Oh, sure.
looks
Looks
like
like
an
a little
eyeball.
chicken head, maybe. If you,
Zoom out a little.
Hey, real quick, who's got their
that's
Meshtastic
me.
node?
I got a bunch of nodes. Why?
That's,
Okay.
that's me.
Do you know where the option is
Yeah,
to
it's
turn
throw
it
it in the
off?
other room.
No, assist,
No,
but
actually,
there's an option.
we
in the
are
settings.
we're testing a new bandwidth here in the Calgary area, so
gotcha.
that's prototype, and I do want to hear that. So here we go. So it travels on the outer level of this, on the outside of the skin, and then it travels on both those skin surfaces of the shield as well. And that's what John taught me about common mode currents. So
well,
Vince,
I would say that there is nothing particularly wrong with that model, but I would say it doesn't paint the complete picture.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all,
Oh, hold on. I gotta switch you back.
so
on the
first
big
of
one
all,
now. All right.
we're on the right track, and that's wonderful. Because what we're taught in school, it's referred to as the Drude model, right? Where you have these electrons and it's like water in a pipe, and they're bouncing into each other and they're pushing out, and you get resistance when there's constrictions and all of this. And it works fine. But the better model is something called, if I remember correctly, the surface charge model, where yes, you do get polarization. You know, you put something in, you get polarization along the length of the conductor, and then that drives the skin effect, right? Which is what you're talking about. But that skin effect drives polarization in the dielectric material surrounding it. So it's not just the surface of a conductor. If you've ever played with something like a Van der Graaf generator or really
sure.
high voltage thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't
I
have
used
to
to,
be
I used to have hair in it. It stood up.
right. But even without hair, right? You don't have to be close to that thing to know something's happening around it. So I've got no problems with it. I think that's wonderful. And I think that paints all of the picture that hams need to know to understand this. But to really understand displacement current, I think there's a step further. So
All right.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
Nope.
just agreeing with you in a slightly different way.
And we're okay with that. That's all good.
absolutely.
So what I'm hearing is, don't lick your.
Who said
coax.
that? You got to have a little fun, Tim.
You got to
I'm
lick
just
it so
saying,
no one
that's
else
why.
takes it.
Okay.
Right?
Well, there you go.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
by the way,
folks.
quick little plug for this thing. So I was at the city hall today and installing an antenna, and I needed a soldering iron. So I went to Home Depot. This actually worked better than I expected.
And that is I'm gonna guess
A
a
Ryobi.
Ryobi.
Yeah.
Because the color's a
yeah.
little bit
Color.
washed out on the
Oh.
camera, but it's like it's green. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm outside right now and it's getting dark. So,
And it's backwards too.
and it's backwards.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Oh, hang on.
I don't think I've
seen
can
one
of
fix
those,
that.
There, I'll have to go check next time.
oh, there we go.
There we go.
Quick plug. Yeah. No,
Cool.
we were putting a piece of coax on what is it? A PL 259.
Yeah.
On the end of a piece of RG8 up on the roof of City Hall, and we needed something portable, and I wasn't about to take my JBC to that little adventure. So
Ryobi to the rescue.
yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
So
Well,
yeah.
hi, Mark.
But
So,
other
Mark-
than that, sorry,
Mark.
go ahead.
While you're here,
Yeah.
what are your crossover hobbies with ham radio?
Electronics. I love electronics. That's probably what got me into ham radio. So the tinkering, the taking things apart and figuring out what works and poking them and fixing stuff. I think the way that it worked, and it's been so long I barely remember, but we had an electronics class at my high school. I wasn't part of it, but I did go in there from time to time. And I was repairing audio equipment for the band, met some guys, and the teacher was the one giving the tests. And at that time, you had to know a little bit of code. I think it was 5 words per minute for the technician license. I could be wrong. It's been a while. So I learned just enough to be able to do that. And, got got that. I got a little handheld, and it was single band back then, but I was happy with it. I forget what brand it was. And then I went to a yard sale and I found an HF setup for $400 for everything. And it was a really nice transceiver. And I forget which one it was, but man, I kind of wish I still had that today. You know, and got onto HF, was building antennas way back then. I had no idea half of what I know now. It's probably why I was willing to build them, because I wasn't scared of failure. Now I'm like, oh, well, I need to worry about this and the SWR this, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, screw it. No, I'm just at the hardware store getting some metal and just doing stuff. Back then, I had a Yagi. I forget what the band was, but I talked to some guy in Australia from Redlands, California, and that was cool.
Probably 10 meters.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember it was a big antenna, but I don't remember how big.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so it was a fun little journey. That was mid 90s. And then I got cancer and I kind of stopped doing ham for a while. So happens.
Mark, you know exactly how big the antenna was. It was about 10 meters.
Say that again?
You know exactly how big the antenna was. It was about 10 meters.
Oh, there you go. No, but I had, okay, so here's why I don't remember what antenna, right? I had a lot of antennas. Like I don't know if we had Craigslist or whatever, but I was driving all over Southern California. At some point I had a giant parabolic dish that I never did anything with. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't know if it was a 10-meter antenna. I'm saying I don't know what band I contacted this guy on, because I had a lot of crap. I had wires strung up across the property. It's just been too long.
I know. It was through the ISS.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, that's another thing we did at the high school. I wasn't involved in this at all, but it was the coolest thing because we had like an all-school assembly in the gym. That electronics teacher had us talking to the shuttle.
There you go.
Yeah, these
cool.
Giant, I mean, ridiculous. Like we know what, like you can get an arrow these days, right, and do it. No, these were just freaking ridiculous, like giant, you know, like you couldn't wrap your hands around the base of this rotor elevation system. Just huge antennas, you know, at the time. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was inspiring. He did a lot for a lot of people. So it's one of those things I didn't discover until my senior year, and I left early. I graduated early. So I didn't get enough time to take that class, but man, I wish I would have.
So Jody's being snarky, the Canadian snark. Mark, anybody can talk to the shuttle. It's whether or not they talk back. Yeah.
This is true. They talked back, snarky Canadian.
Take off, you hoser.
And yes, Mark, I will link you in Hollywood up. It's going to be unconventional, but, you know, it will work out.
That's okay. Okay, so yeah. So here's what I'm doing for everybody out there in TV land. And I can't see comments anymore. I shut YouTube so I wouldn't have competing audio streams. We're going to build a bunch of antennas for the Firewatch. Firewatch is primarily populated by people that are on the verge of death. Like every time the room gets quiet, I assume another member has died. They're old, but we're trying to teach them. What's that?
But I said, but there's more.
We're going to build it. We're going to make it for younger people. We've got plans to expand the user base. And one of the things I want to do in a meeting, it was going to be in October, but now it's got pushed back to December, is build an antenna so people have more than just the little rubber ducky. And I figured a J-pole. J-poles aren't that difficult, but I'm noticing a lot of common mode current, right? When I'm tuning these things, you touch the wire and it shifts. It shouldn't. So that's letting me know that I need a choke of some kind. I could buy, you know, hundreds of ferrites, or I was looking at other ballons, and the bazooka ballon, aka sleeve ballon, aka RF something, I don't know. But if anybody has some ideas on how to make these things in bulk for people, we can prep things and they can just do a little soldering at the end. It doesn't have to be a complete build, but I made 3D printed some jigs so that we can bend the wires and then cut them to the right length and then solder the feed point in the right spot. So next I have to figure out what's the easiest way to make this thing. The first trial that I did last night, I 3D printed a cylinder and I covered it in foil, the copper foil tape, and then I soldered it on, but it's really fragile, the connection, because foil tape's really fragile. So I don't know if I like that.
Have you tried Faraday tape?
I have some. It came in Amazon today, so I have not tried that yet. How do you connect that to the to the shield, though? Do you just mechanical?
I don't know. Ben
VE6
can I think of his call sign. SFX, right? Yeah, special effects guy. He does a lot with Faraday. He does the Faraday. He makes Faraday antennas.
I bought 3 of them.
And everything like that. Reach out to him. I bet he has. He's on Discord and he's got his Ham Radio Rookie.
Mark, yet again, I can link you up.
YouTube channel.
Okay.
Or Frank, show historian.
On the Faraday tapes, he's using mechanical connections, it seems.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out what that's going to look like. Are we going to, wrap it like we're tying flies? If that works, I'm fine with it.
He has a small circuit board, which has a BNC connector on one side and a couple of contact pads on the other. And it's bolted down. I don't know why my computer does that. It's bolted down to the surface of the fabric where the Faraday tape is, so that it makes an electromechanical connection that way.
Yeah.
So, Mark, Hollywood wants to know, does it have to be a J-pole? Easiest to make a vertical dipole with the same type of balun.
No, it doesn't have to be a J-pole. It could be any antenna. The thing that I want is that they make it that we can fit it inside a piece of PVC. The reason I liked the J-pole is there's no radials for birds to sit and crap on, because we have a lot of wildlife up in here. Like today, when I was out here playing with the dog, I had probably a dozen just giant buzzards flying over. I don't want to give them any reason to think that they can land on this thing and detune it. That's the reason I picked the J-pole over a quarter wave vertical with radials. But no, I'm open. If he's got a better antenna suggestion, I'm happy to hear it.
Mark, you and Hollywood could go for hours.
Let's do it. Oh, and by the way, this is UHF 467, just outside the GMRS. Yeah.
Even smaller.
So
there you go. And Jody says,
awesome. Mark, how's that?
Jody says Simon Hamchaz was using snap buttons to pinch the fabric.
Here's an idea. So how's the what, Tim?
You know what Ham Jazz? Well, how's Boondock Echo going?
Echo.
Busy.
Boondock Echo.
Busy. So we got a verbal commitment for investment in the company, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really good. But we're doing a lot. It's not the amount that we asked for. So we're doing a lot of replanning of, well, how are we going to do this? The idea right now is that once we get the money in the bank, Casey and I will go full time, and that should really see, a hockey stick growth in the company, which will be good. I've got 150 brand new Boondocks ready to go, except I'm waiting on the latest, greatest firmware, which Casey says will be any day now, but it's been any day for several days. So I think the best thing.
Now tell Casey Casey should have had the firmware written before he knew.
I'm going to tell
it written.
I'm going to tell him to talk to you, Tim. No, I think.
Tell him I said that, because
I think what Casey needs.
He gladly accepted when you talked him up on the show that time about him having stuff done before
really
you knew.
What I think Casey needs, I think what we all need is a little bit of a break, because this is a second job.
Yeah, maybe a little
But
vacation
anyhow,
time.
I've got 150 of those. Here's some news for you people out there in TV land from across the pond. Maker Fabs is going to sell the bare bones Boondock for us, the caseless Boondock. You'll be able to buy it from them. That's the whole thing. That's the one that can transmit too. So, yeah.
Oh, really?
A lot of people, if you just want to receive, you can do it for $25. No big deal. If you want to transmit too, you need a second board. So we're going to sell those through Makers Fab. We still have to work out the financials, but I sent them over the product description webpage today. So that'll be good. And the latest, greatest firmware, once it's done, we're still doing a little bit of debugging. It's really going to help A lot of people are having transcription issues because their audio levels aren't right. So we have a live audio level meter that'll help you set that. It's going to be great. So once I get the firmware, Tim and Frank, Jeff, let me know and I will send you some.
Cool.
I'll send you one.
Cool.
All right. In case Frank hasn't done it.
I dropped links once. I'm taking it easy tonight.
We lost Freddie. I scared him away by talking
No,
to
that
him.
was Vince.
I
Vince
lost
did say he had to leave
Vince,
in
yeah.
10 minutes, probably about 10 minutes ago. So
It's only been 5 minutes.
yeah, I don't know. I thought he might have had camera issues for a second. But he had to pop out early.
I hope that was the right website, Boondock Echo. I don't know. It might show up to a Canadian version of Pornhub.
Let me
or
share a
something,
couple other
but-
features. So Boondock Echo,
Right.
it's just an audio. It's the box. It's not complicated circuitry. It's an analog digital converter and a radio interface. That's it. It's very simple. It's the transcription where we do it in the cloud. That's the fastest. But KC also has in this latest thing
Right.
that you guys can roll your own Edge servers or roll your own Raspberry Pi servers.
I see
Now,
that.
the trouble with that is Pis are slow. 1 minute of transcription, 1 minute of audio takes 1 minute to transcribe versus our cloud, which is like a 15 to 1 factor. 15 minutes of audio takes 1 minute to transcribe. So you're not going to see the same level of performance unless you're willing to throw a lot of servers at your audio, but you can do it locally. You can do it completely offline. There's a lot of new features coming.
Cool.
So on that 1 minute 1-to-1 ratio there, is that benchmark with the Pi 5,
Pi
Pi
5.
4, Pi 3, Pi 5? Okay, so that's their latest offering. What about some of these smaller 12 volt or
Yes,
mini
that
PCs?
could potentially give you more performance. Your amount of RAM
Okay.
and your processor speed, your tops, and he would have to speak to the specifics. But yes, the Pi isn't the final answer. You can go get a Nook or even an old laptop that will likely outperform it. The more processors that it has, the more threads that we can do at once, right? Like the Pi, you've got one processor. We're going to run one stream at once. So
But 4 was it? How many does a Pi 5 have? Is it 4 or 8? How many CPUs does it have? On
I
their
don't know,
cores?
but the memory matters too. And again,
I don't know
I
either.
could be misspeaking here, but that processor is going to need a certain amount of memory, and the Pis only have about 8 gigabytes.
So Andrew wants to know, is it limited to Pi or can he spin up his own VM or Docker instance?
Yes. No, it is not limited to Pi. I guess what I'm trying to say is Pi isn't the solution you necessarily want to go for because it is slow. It's the 1-to-1. So yes, you can. I forget if he's playing around it with Docker, Kubernetes. I can't keep track. He moves too fast for me. But yes, you could hook it up to an old computer, an old laptop, and do the transcription there if you wanted to keep it local.
So a Pi 5 has a quad-core 64-bit ARM processor in it, running at 2.4 gigahertz. That's standard. The one variable would be the amount of RAM memory that it has. So 2, 4, 8, or
and
16
the RAM,
gigs
the
of
RAM
RAM.
affects which
So
model, which Whisper model you can use.
okay.
But again, we're getting really into KC territory.
Well, that's good because it looks like you sold a Boondock Echo tonight, possibly, Mark.
To who?
Andrew to Brocam, he says, "Oh boy, here I go buying a Boondock Echo."
Yes. Okay,
There we
so
go.
Andrew, the one that you just bought is the last one that we have with the old firmware on it. The new firmware, we can do an over the air update when it's available, which, Casey was thinking the 10th, the weekend of the 10th. So you'll have the old firmware for like a week before you get the new one.
I'll hold Casey's feet to the fire.
I try.
And he says he's a self-hoster, so he self-hosts everything, and he loves that option.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Will not work with the old firmware. The old firmware is hard tied to our transcription servers. But you also get like a month free of the full feature set. So you'll need the new firmware to be able to roll your own.
So there you go, Andrew. And Andrew, if you want, Mark's usually hanging out Saturday nights in the after chat, so you can always ask him questions there
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the voice chat.
Woo!
Yeah. Home Lab Peeps
Mhm.
Unite. That's what Jody says. See, Jody, there's another meme. You've got passed up on a couple
Peeps
memeing
even.
opportunities there.
If you talk about peeps,
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
He said in solidarity, I did link detox a little bit, so I dropped links and then missed a link and then dropped more links. So
So yeah. So Boondock
All
Echoes
right.
moving, man. Once I get that investment, I will be a happy camper.
very cool.
That's good. How did the race season, or is that still going on?
We crashed.
The racing.
Okay, so
Oh, boy.
let me share some other things since I'm just taking over your stream with marketing.
I didn't mean. Hey, I didn't mean
So,
to bring up any touchy
From
subjects.
a
I'm sorry, Mark.
technological standpoint, Boondock did well. We've got new tech, and I'll tell you guys about that in a second too. From a racing standpoint, we ran into a lot of stuff, and eventually one of those was a concrete wall, and we were out. So nothing we did from a technological standpoint mattered at that point because you're done. Like, you at least want to finish the race, and we couldn't. The car was totaled. The driver's okay, but yeah, that wasn't an ideal situation. Okay, so here's something else we've been working on. We don't want to have one Boondock per radio. It's not efficient. It works great for 1s, 2s, 4s. It's no problem. It's beautiful. It's backed up. Everything's hunky dory. What we want to do is be able to capture all of the audio streams at once. So Casey has written some software for RTL SDR, AirSpy, and he played around with some other. It might have been a Pluto Plus. I'm not sure.
Sounds like that idea I gave you on another issue.
He can now capture on an RTL SDR simultaneously 6 audio streams for transcription. Off of
one receiver?
Cheap receiver, one RTL SDR.
Using
Now
IQ.
the bandwidth, all of these frequencies have to be within a particular bandwidth that the RTL SDR is capable of, right? You're not going to be looking at 144, 440, and whatever else. We're talking like.
No, was that about 6 megs or something
I
like
think
that?
we're doing it with even less. I think
yeah.
I think
is it 4
he's
megs?
spacing these things at 5.
Oh no, I mean I think there's only
yeah.
like 4 or 5 megs of available
4
Yeah, the
megs.
AirSpy. I don't know the exact specs, but I think the
4
AirSpy
megs.
is better. And certainly,
I
certainly there's other
agree,
ones that have allegedly, like the RX888. Allegedly is something like 64 megahertz of usable bandwidth. I've never gotten it to do that and not crash, but it says
That's
it
a
can.
lot.
I've just never seen it. But anyways, yeah, he can now pull out any number of audio streams and send them to our transcription servers, which is fabulous if you're a business or if you're a race team and you want all of the race traffic.
But those have to be known frequencies,
What do you mean?
right? So my little idea that I was talking about was saying let's scan a whole band. We pick 20 meters, for example, and be able to capture the audio and transcribe it for anything in that band, not knowing it, not saying, okay, I want to listen to 14.300, but I also want to listen to 14.250, but I also want to, basically take the entire 20 meter band and be able to listen to everything in that 20 meter band all at one time using the IQ data and be able to distinguish.
It is.
And I don't know if that's possible.
So the 20 megahertz band is actually, as I recall, pretty small. What's the frequency range?
14 to 350. So
So
350
that's
megahertz.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right. That's absolutely nothing as far as these things go. So the software right now.
Well, my use case, I just did that here. My actual use case and what we had talked about a while ago was basically the entire HF band. So like my radio here does 30 megahertz
Yes.
the whole time, right? So I can do the
So,
entire HF band.
Back
all
to
in
your
one.
question, it's still possible. We might. Okay, so like the RTL, not the RTL, the RX 888 can allegedly do 64. I've gotten it to do 32 pretty reliably, but 64 I've never gotten. Anyhow, right now the software is written for channelized audio because that's what we're interested in the commercial space is channelized audio. You could, instead of, you could have a separate logic that goes through and it's looking for the peaks in that band and then goes through and says, okay, well, this is your channel. It would just be separate data or a separate program that would do that. And then you could further go through and look at the audio stream and run it through a fast Fourier transform and look and say, well, this is actually just data. We don't care about that for now. You know, this is the audio that we're looking for. It's technologically possible. So yes, you could do all of HF at once. You might.
I'd like to be able to track every net at every moment and get transcripts of it. So when they said, no, we're holding the frequency for the net, I can say, no, you're not, buddy.
You could,
I've
but
got
then
the
you've got the
transcripts.
frequency. So we can do that now.
Yeah. Got to bring the receipts. Well, so not, I say this jokingly, but a lot of that, what happens is these guys you'll go up and you'll ask if their frequency's in use. You'll hear nothing. You hear nothing. You start calling CQ. Oh, we're holding the frequency for a net. You need to
Can I
move.
make a suggestion?
And it gets into an argument, right? Oh yeah, of course.
This is what I do when I get somebody on mine. Transmitting station, negative copy. Please increase your transmit power or move to a higher location. Over.
Yep.
There you go.
That's how I get. That's how I
do
get.
have-
We haven't had any in a long time, but that's how I get these jokers off of the Firewatch frequency. I will sit there and work with them for like 20 minutes. Like, nope, still can't hear you. Try increasing your output power.
Smart way to do it.
I like that.
I'd throw that cheap Chinese radio over the cliff there, buddy.
Yeah.
Take care of
Transmitting
it now.
station, your antenna might be loose.
That's right. Put a sleeve balun on it. You can go to my website. I'll show you how to make it. Yeah.
Oh, we got Jody. We got Jody. The urge to build a passive aggressive ham is strong right now.
Do it.
There we go.
We just have to get Mark on.
Told
That's
you.
all.
Do it. That's right.
Yeah, I don't fight
Yeah.
fair at all.
That's right. Bill said you're down in the noise.
No, I'm serious, guys. Try it.
I was
What can they do? They're going to increase their power. Just tell them to keep cranking it up until they blow their finals. I mean,
yeah. There's I just noticed you stumble into that a lot now, and you get a lot of people who'll want to make noise and tune up and play music. I just push on through. I mean, if they want to meet somebody stubborn, get me on the other end. I'll just keep working people.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't acknowledge them. I just move on and keep working. And I got a few tricks to make them think that they're not
When
bothering
I'm
me.
out on POTA, someone mentioned, you got some QRMary. I'm like, no clue. Couldn't hear it.
Nope. Band's pretty quiet
Hit your
here.
DNF button.
Yeah.
Even then, some of them are strong
little
enough
loud.
out here that I'm just like, nope. I don't know what
depends.
they're.
I don't know
was,
if you guys.
I was watching Pota Boy yesterday. He does he live streams his activations, and he had someone on there tuning up, and they were doing different tones, like they were changing the frequencies a little bit. And I'm like, dude, hit your DNF button. I don't know what radio he has or what he uses, but I was like, dude, you gotta hit the DNF button.
Even Bill's getting in on this. Jody, Bill says, don't ignore
Do
the
it.
force. Do
Do
it.
it.
Do it.
Do it.
I just texted my wife to see if she'd turn on some lights for me.
Oh.
There's been a lot. I mean, the Enforcement Bureau is on furlough right now, but there have been a lot of enforcement actions. I read the other day somebody went off after somebody on 7.2.
Yep.
Mhm.
7.2.
did.
You know, pirates, be afraid. If they're going after 7.2, you know, they'll come after you. So
Well, they
can
were.
they come after a Northern California 2-meter repeater?
If
We
they
really
don't-
need Mount
Frank-
Diablo taken down.
Yeah.
Frank, at some point, I'm going to be taking Boondock on the road. I will come up and I will solve that problem for you, buddy.
Awesome. 'Cause
The
you know how,
FCC
you know how
has-
bad it is.
The FCC has been slow to do anything in the Philadelphia area. There has been some QRMers in the area. They get on multiple repeaters, and they're usually a group of people. And last I heard, which was near the beginning of the year, that the FC was actively monitoring the frequencies in the Philadelphia area for these people after like 4 years of complaining and sending in reports. Now they actually have to collect the evidence,
Yeah.
which is bulk pooky, because there's people out there that have all the evidence on video right now.
Yeah.
And I'm one of them.
It elected. Unfortunately, it falls back to the chain of
Chain
custody.
of evidence, chain of command, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Gotta make it
Bureaucratic
enforceable, man.
BS. Bureaucratic BS. That's
No,
what
I don't know
it
if
seems
that's
like.
bureaucratic. That's the Constitution.
Well, if you have
So,
video
but-
evidence of people being alpha hotels on the air, and you can identify those people either by whatever means, I think there's enough evidence. I don't think you need to have a stockpile of evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it because I don't work for the FCC. I kind of do know someone, but I probably could ask them. But I don't
you
know
know
how
what
they
they-
do it.
You know what they
or
do?
how- What?
They sit outside the house or the location where they're transmitting, and they record it and they document it, and then they basically go knock on the door, and
Yeah.
they see how they respond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, like
if you read
they
that,
don't-
if you read that last action, that guy
Yep.
in there indicated that, you know, they indicated in the report that he indicated that he was doing it. I mean, he admitted to it, right? So
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Um,
got to be at the you got to be on the frequency or even at the location to get the signal to pinpoint it. Yeah, I understand that, but
And then well, they're understaffed. We know that. But then there's the other issue. And I sent a video of this to Frank the other night. There is a sad ham out there who is just reporting anybody and everybody for anything and everything. He is just one grumpy frumpy. Give me 1 second here. It's going to get noisy. I'll be right back.
So while we're waiting for Mark,
where's my dinner?
Cody, I want to know what kind of blizzard you caught.
yeah, what is this, like a Canadian thing, man? You and Molson,
It is. Him and Molson, and yeah.
getting blizzards delivered,
I think it
and
was ice cream. I could use some ice cream. Mm.
No, it's
Okay,
more like
so-
a shake.
So Frank,
Yeah.
we don't need to share this guy's name, but he made a video, and you can just tell that he's, you know, somebody's tweaked his nose. He's just upset. His whole YouTube is, you know, no trolling is allowed. I will, you know, report you to YouTube too, and then, you know, also, you know, his video is just listening to people on the air, and I think some of them might have been out of privilege for their band. And he's
Looking
like,
at it, no, they weren't.
they weren't. They even weren't. Okay, so he's
Yeah.
just. I mean, these are the sad hams, and he's probably generating dozens of FCC reports a night based on the general attitude that he alludes. So they've got to sort through that crap too. You know, I know
Absolutely.
I would have a special file for him if I was at the FCC, and it would be round.
I don't know if I know like if you submit like false reports to the police, they could get you for filing false reports to police because that is illegal.
The FCC won't know.
Yeah, but I was wondering if the FCC had something like that. If like the Karen down the road or the sad ham that likes to put everyone under the microscope and that's whatever they do, they put out their call sign. Oh, they didn't use the proper phonetics. Oh, they didn't do it within 10 minutes. It was like 10 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah,
Oh, all
that
this
that
is-
would be this guy.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else about that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate though.
Mhm.
people
very-
like that to give homeowners associations bad names.
Yeah. So Veritasium just put out a video that I watched, and I need to go back and watch it again. But he was talking about connections and just how small the world is, right? How we're all kind of connected. The 6 degrees of separation theory. And if within your network you've got good people, happy people, you've got Tims, right? You've got Franks, you've got Jeffs. You're going to have a happier ham experience than if in your small network of people, you've got this jabroni who is just making it miserable for you. Josh said on the HRCC, I forget if it was last week or the week before, but that, people who give up, God, I don't want to misquote him, but something to the effect of, people who come to the hobby and, see this negativity and give up easily, maybe ham radio isn't right for them.
No, it's for anything like that. I mean, every new ham that comes into that gets licensed when I'm VEing, I tell them that there are some bad people out there, and you might run into them either like on a local repeater, digital mode, or even on the HF bands. You just got to ignore them and move on. I mean, you can't let them discourage you from, like, women, young kids, or whatever. They could get discouraged pretty easily, but I tell them, like, don't get discouraged if you run into a bad person on the air being a butthead. Don't.
Right.
Just
But
ignore them.
that's actually-
Move somewhere else, to another
But-
frequency, another location, another repeater, whatever, and just have fun. It's all about having fun, and hams that have that kind of behavior need to be dealt with in one way or another, because they're the ones that are ruining ham radio, not FT8, not computers, not the future. It's you old people that are ruining ham radio with your being grumpy old farts.
So that actually brings up a good point, and then I'll let you go, Mark. In one of my posts I did recently, somebody responded, "Yeah, my 11-year-old kid was interested in ham radio, and they happened to pass by the radio one day and heard this one conversation. Now they're completely turned off by it."
Yeah, it's like just being out in public and you don't know who's listening, and you don't want to be like at your local restaurant having a meal with someone or drinking with your buddy, and you're talking bad about someone, and someone that person knows is there and overhears that conversation, who knows you and the other person, and they go report back to someone else. It's like the same thing with ham radio. You never know who's listening.
I would
mean-
argue that people today are, or at least in the experience that I see for young people, is they're a lot more anxious than I remember being when I was their age. And the theory that I've heard, and I don't know that this is true, is that evolutionarily, we never learned how to deal with the news that we have today. So, back in the day, there might be, a tribe, 300, 1,000 people. Maybe you heard about one murder in your lifetime. Now we turn on the news and it's all you hear. There's mass shootings every day, people crashing through churches, shooting up schools. And all of this is very, very, very scary. We're supposed to be scared of danger, but all we see in the news is danger, and it makes people very anxious. I don't know that this is true. This is what I've heard, and it kind of makes a little sense to me. So you go, and then your first touch with this thing, it isn't the emotion, it isn't the fun. Like, we can deal with these grumpy old farts because we have this whole pool of emotion, of happy experiences with this thing. But if your first touch is that negative experience,
it taints
to
it.
balance it out.
Yeah,
and the whole thing becomes scary.
Yep. Like I said, I tell actually all the new people, mostly the women and young kids, teens and stuff like that. It's like, there are going to be bad people out there, but please don't let that discourage you from the hobby. There's just so much to the hobby itself that you can find fun. If it's not on that frequency or that repeater, go find another one. There's plenty of them out there. And if you can't get on a repeater, get a hotspot. There you go. You can talk to the rest of the world. And there's always going to be something bad people everywhere you go. You can't avoid it.
Just spin
It's
the
knowing
dial.
how to deal with it emotionally, mentally, or even physically if you had to. If you're out in the world and something happens, you need to know what to do and always keep your head on a swivel kind of thing. But it's just having the mentality of, I think, not being discouraged from like the first thing. I understand it can happen, but yes, some people are a little bit more fragile and can't shake that kind of first impression off. But
So maybe we could create those positive first impressions for hams,
that's
right?
what we try to do with like being a V. We're I always tell people go to my VEC because they are the most friendliest people, and I've always said that. I believe that with all my heart because everyone I've seen there for the past 2 years I've been doing it has been nice to everyone they talk to.
Are you their first radio conversation?
No, because we're just doing the testing and allow them, if they're new licensees, they don't have their license yet.
Right, but we know how to work around that. They can talk with your talk with your call sign.
As soon as they get licensed,
As soon as they get licensed, they can't. Well, this is remote sessions. I do remote VE sessions.
Oh, okay.
So this is over
right.
Zoom. I'm in Delaware. There's someone in California. There's someone in Michigan.
My idea doesn't work. No.
Yeah.
No. It would work for in-person one. I should have mentioned that I do remote VE sessions. But even when on the repeater, we're starting to get a lot of newer hams on the air locally, and everyone's been very nice to them. On this is probably like the main repeater in Northern Delaware, the biggest footprint, the largest amount of power to it, whatever. But I mean, there hasn't been there's been a few QRMers and stuff on there, but they usually are few and far between. But yeah, I mean, everyone that comes in there, everyone's always helpful. I even heard today or yesterday when I was working, I was listening to the repeater, like this one new guy kept on thanking this other guy that's been around for a while for all the information has been providing him. And it's not the first time I've heard that. So we try to make everything better.
Sean has that right. Bring that back up, Tim. There's way more good than bad in this hobby. Absolutely.
There is way more good and bad, but the bad you always hear more about.
Unfortunately.
And that's with everything.
Isn't that the way humans work, though?
Yes.
Right? You get 100 compliments, you look great. You get one compliment, you look bad. That's the one you sit with.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's true with every aspect of good versus bad.
It is, but that's also what makes social media so dangerous for young folks.
Social media is, I've always said it was the devil. I was there when it started, and I watched it grow to what it's become. And it's can be bad, but I mean, there are good things about it. The speed at which information travels, but as long as that information is correct.
Oh no, it won't be, buddy.
Yeah, it won't, because like the bad stuff usually moves faster than the good stuff is more prominent than the good stuff. And like they've said in the past, any news, even bad, any news is good news? No.
Bad news or rumors can get around the world.
No, it's not that.
Well,
it's
the truth is still
any press, even good or even bad press is good press. Something like
all
that.
Press is good. All press is good
I
press.
mean, like with my band, every time we get an article written about it, is about people slam dancing, things getting broken, people getting hurt. But that's what draws more people out. Even the bad press that we would get would still draw out more people to see us. So
Hollywood has it right. One bad apple.
yeah, and there's like the one bad apple that can ruin it for everyone or for whoever takes a bite of the apple.
Yeah.
How are you guys seeing all these chat? I've got the chat open and I don't see half of these comments that Tim's or Frank or Jeff.
They're all over, pointing the wrong way. They're all over there on the far right. If you click on chat,
I've got chat.
Do you see where it says design captions, or you may not see all
only you see that, Tim.
Notes, chat.
I see chat, but the chats I'm getting are Nightbot and Restream.io. It's fine. Doesn't matter. But
Interesting.
anyhow,
It's probably because you came in late. If you had been
Well,
here on
Mark-
time, Mark.
Mark, you
I-
got to remember, I also have a vertical monitor right here where chat is literally at, and then I
it's
have
fine.
chat.
I was
during
just wondering if it was
stuff.
something I could click. Okay, so here's my question. How do you create more positive emotional experiences with the radio for new hams?
Well, I just saw this up in here. I put it up, and I'm going to do it again.
Do it again.
A lot of my club test sessions have a go to station set
That's a
up
great idea.
for those who pass.
That's
Maybe
great
doing
idea.
testing sessions at a POTA get together, right? Have a big POTA get together and do the testing sessions off
If
to
you
the
can
side.
get at least 3 VEs there, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think a decent sized club would have that.
But you also have to remember, Sean there, WTF Radio, is one of the Texans in the chat. So, they have big everything.
Are there might actually even be solutions for Jeff in some sort of a digital chat room?
There
Talking
might be. I don't know.
I don't know if that's useful.
I mean, I could bring it up to some of the session managers and see what they say. I
So I'll
don't
give-
know how it's. I wouldn't say it's not real radio, but it's being at the control station. Being the control station, you need to be there too.
Well, no. That's why I'm thinking if it's a digital chat room, it's not real ham radio.
True.
Well, that's what they tell us.
I actually just thought of something, Jeff. Have them find and reach out to their local club.
We do.
Have them then see if they can get on there with that club call, because technically they could use the club call until they get their FCC license. As long as they have the CSCE, they can use the club call.
Yep.
Get on with the club call on air, and if they're general, use HF. Have them try out HF from the club station and schedule a sched.
That's a little bit hard with the amount of people that some remote sessions have.
Oh yeah, the ones that are interested in taking
Well,
that first step.
Well, anyone new, we always point them like you're in San Diego, you're in Philadelphia, wherever. There are loads of clubs. Please reach out. Go to arrl.org. Look for a club on there in your local area and try different ones out. And like I said earlier, once we know that there's a local ham like who gets on the air, we welcome them with like open arms. We're like, hey, if you have any questions, let us know. We had one last year that he was going like 100 miles a minute. And he just wanted to learn everything at once. And we're like, dude, you got to slow down. You have plenty of time to learn everything. But he was
Got
just
a lifetime.
excited about it. He was just really excited about it. So
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 the
I
Snark
wanna touch on
Master.
this.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm already on it here. Hold on. The Snark Master extraordinaire, Jody, Mark, just for you, posted this. Said Mark, to motivate millennials with positive experience after they get licensed, get Casey to develop a swipe right firmware for the Baofeng.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Now,
like
now
that.
Brent,
swipe frequencies. Just nope, not that repeater. Not that repeater. Okay, that one.
But I think, but maybe not the Baofeng. The Quansheng is probably a better radio for that because you can easily load up alternative firmwares in the
Yeah.
Quansheng.
You know what I like I'm really recommending to hams right now is, and I forget the other ones, like the VR or whatever, Verbo, the BTEC UV Pro. You can do a ton with this radio.
This is a nice, right? So it's got the BTEC Baofeng label on there, but it's not made by Baofeng.
No.
It is made by Vero. And dude, this is a solid radio. It's probably the nicest HT I've got on the weight and feel and everything, including some of the other name brand ones.
And the app is incredible. The app is what
It's been
makes
nice.
it.
Yeah.
You can chat. You can send photos to other people. You can do all sorts of fun stuff.
Mhm.
By the way, I got chat fixed. I closed it and I opened it and it's working again.
there you go.
So turned it off and back on again, Tim. You'd be proud.
Awesome. Chris asked the question, you got an unlicensed person who gets on the air. What do you do?
Yep, I replied to him in chat. basically, if the person's nice about it, we'll say, you're not licensed to transmit on this frequency. Please get off the air. We will point you into a direction where you can get licensed, and we'll be happy to talk to you then. We've had a few people that have used their GMRS call sign to try to check into a ham radio net on a local repeater. I think I might have mentioned this before. I was on a net where some guy that was, he said he was 12 miles off the shore of the United States, off of Jersey, I guess it was, and wanted to check into the net. And he said because he was 12 miles out, basically in international waters, that he could transmit on any frequency he wanted to, including the ham radio repeater frequency. And there was discussion between the net control person and that person. I wish I recorded it because it was hysterical.
Could have made it a short.
Yeah, actually, it would have to have been a short video, not a short, but
A long.
yeah, that guy was being an Alpha Hotel, and the net control tried to do its best to get him to stop transmitting, but they kept on arguing back and forth. It was, like I said, it was hysterical, and I wish I recorded it. But
Transmitting station, negative copy. Please increase power.
that would have been something to do. But I mean, at least the people, the GMRS people, I've heard them twice, at least check into the nets that I listen to on Monday nights. That is my local net here, one of them.
Right there,
And they're pretty cool about it. They don't really retransmit after that. Once the net control identifies that the call sign is not a ham radio call sign, he says, well, you really can't transmit, and if you want to, you could get licensed and look up the ARRL.
Yeah.
But
I would say there's one caveat. In an emergency like we had in North Carolina, there were some unlicensed people on the air trying to get help.
Yes.
You help them.
Yes, that's the difference.
Yeah.
That was during it was a natural, I wouldn't say a disaster, but if you want to call it a natural disaster, then yes.
It was a natural disaster.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking of more of an
proportions.
emergency than a disaster, but it was an emergency situation, and people did get cut off. Their roads got cut off. Communication, like phone communication, got shut off, either landline and cell service. So their only option was the repeater. I can't remember the call sign of the repeater, or I think it was in Asheville or near Asheville, North Carolina. I could be wrong.
I believe it was the Asheville.
My aunt lives out in Nashville, and she said it did get hit pretty hard, but she was okay where she was for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I remember. I think the repeater owners, or at least people that were on as working as net control, did some interviews after the fact, and they said we helped everyone. We didn't care if they had a license or not. We took down their information and tried to get someone to help them.
And here's something that's important. The guy who took on responsibility for net control, and again, I don't remember his call sign.
Yep.
Thomas K4SWL.
It wasn't Thomas. It wasn't
No.
Thomas.
Oh, he was one of them.
Well,
He noticed
might have
a
been
need.
one of them, but there's a few of them, I believe.
Yeah.
But he noticed a need, and he started a net. Started figuring out what resources were there, and he had no training as a net control operator. He just saw a need. He stayed calm, and he started to act. And people were like, "Well, rah." People got pissed off at him. I remember too.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, he's not God. Anybody else that I'm sure he would like a break. If you think you can do better running a radio for 10 hours a day for weeks on end, go for it.
Put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Either step up or step out.
Yep.
Yeah, in that kind of situation, that was pretty cool. The first person that did that, I mean, he saw the need and says, well, I have my radio. I'm not doing anything right now. I'll just say, hey, does anyone need help? Please call me. I don't care if you're licensed or not. I mean, that's stepping up to take charge of the situation. Maybe not like in charge, but he started to get, he knows that people need help.
Yeah.
So
He got stuff done.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's getting stuff done. And if people got bent out of shape about it, then they need to take a look at themselves more closely and understand that it even states in the FCC rules that I'm pretty sure it does. I'm not speaking out of my rear end, but you can transmit even if you're unlicensed in the event of has to be an emergency. It can't be like you're out of beer and you have
Yeah.
no legs or your car
And
won't
Yeah.
start.
An
And you-
emergency with no other form of communication readily available.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
like I said, the phone lines were down, the towers were down. So yes, that is a perfect example of non-licensed people using amateur radio to get what they need in an emergency.
Absolutely. Brockham says, I listened to the Broadcastify for days. The helpers did an amazing job.
They
Yeah,
did.
and you don't get
Yep.
paid for that.
Nope.
And you don't get breaks. You don't, all you get is grief. And it's very stressful to be net control in an emergency.
Yep.
That's actually why I created Boondock Echo. Was there was a fire nearby and I was allegedly responsible for like 8 different channels. There's no way I couldn't listen to that much traffic, you know? And most of it was just panicked residents, but you know, you're trying to listen to fire with actual, you know, good info. And the people are like, well, I see smoke. You know, yeah, there's a fire.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that have freaked out. It's like there was a few times there was a thunderstorm coming through, and they started a Skywatch net, and these were like large thunderstorms. This is like the Skywatch person starting the net because that's what he would do. But there was just a regular thunderstorm coming through, and someone got on the repeater, and I was listening at the time. It's like, because I was waiting to see if there would be a Skywatch net just to see. And you're like, is anyone doing a Skywatch net because it's starting to thunder and stuff and lightning? I'm like, well, and the person that normally does it says, well, no, it's just a thunderstorm. There's nothing special about it.
Mark, could you imagine if
just
we did
happens.
that out here every time we had a storm?
Yeah, it's like if you have a fire, like, okay, I know fires have been bad out in California, but someone says they see smoke. Have you called the police? Have you started the net? I was like, there's just a house on fire or a brush fire. Someone's burning leaves in their backyard.
Yeah, well,
Not the end
we
of the
had
world.
one not a mile from my house about a month ago, and we have these great cameras in California from UC Davis. I think runs a program. So I just was looking at the camera feed, and I could see this fire out there, and it was about a pixel big. And 15 minutes later, it was only about 2 pixels big. And 15 minutes or like 5 minutes after that, the fire department finally got to it because it was a little rural.
Yeah.
And it was still 4 pixels big. And we're like, well, do we need to evacuate? I'm like,
No.
I don't even need to stop watching my movie. This one's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
there
some
are
people
some like that, you know.
Yeah, some
Uh,
people.
Hollywood's coming in with the
I
receipts.
think
on
that sounds right. DMG sounds right.
And then Tim, if you'll share my
Yeah.
screen real quick, I popped up there. These are the cameras Mark's talking about. That's the current view from Mount St. Helena at 4,300 feet in elevation. Just
That's
it's
pretty
actually
awesome.
looking up at through those clouds there in the top right corner here. Yeah, through those clouds.
Corner.
That's where my town is, somewhere over there.
Cool. That's
yeah,
pretty neat.
You
But
can go
yeah,
in
you kind of
and-
need that kind of stuff where you're at because of the fires all the time there.
Yeah. And
But-
then,
but it covers
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
I'm sure.
state.
A
Like,
whole network of them. Yeah, it does. It's
I,
like
I can come
the
down
tsunami
here.
network that they put in after 2004.
and then we've got
all
there's I don't know 3 or 4 different fire prediction software programs. The one I use is I want to say, is it the Elmer Fire? No, the Elmer's Us. It's definitely starts with E. Anyhow, we can, based on rainfall and what we expect the vegetation to be and the current temperature and wind speed and the weather forecast, we can actually predict what this fire is going to do if there's no firefighting efforts.
Mm-hmm.
And it can tell you if you need to, worry or not. I was training with this software during the Palisades fire, and in training, I'm not responsible for any of this, just to be clear for any lawyers watching out there. We knew that I just happened to pick Palisades because that was one of the hot spots when the training occurred. We could see that it was going to overrun their only escape route, a solid 45 minutes before they called for an evacuation. Do not wait to be told to evacuate. If you do not feel safe, go. So
Yeah, if you think the thunderstorm's really bad, then do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But it's
Seek
just a
shelter.
thunderstorm. Don't panic, folks.
Yeah.
Get your towel.
We got
Well
guys.
over.
We are we're over a couple hours here. It's a good discussion tonight. Real good discussion. So, real quick, run around the horn. Mark, what do you got coming up? You do have a
Nothing
YouTube channel.
coming out. Nothing coming on
You got
out
anything coming up?
yet. I'm focusing on business stuff right now, so I'm sorry about that. But my antenna
Oh,
clips. I don't know if you guys saw those 3D printed antenna clips. I connected with Abe, and I don't know his call sign by memory yet. Is going to sell some at a local Hamvention and maybe on eBay. But they're these really overcomplicated, really cool cam action locks. What's
Abe
that?
doesn't have a call sign.
Abe has
Abe
a
doesn't
call
have a
sign. I
call
just don't know
sign.
what it is.
Alpha Bravo.
But he's going to
Echo.
sell some of those, and we're going to see if we can make a little money there. Anybody, just an FYI, this type of stuff is not a focus of Boondock Technologies. When I put that out there as open source, I truly mean open source. Take it, print it, make a couple bucks for yourself. Go for it. You're not offending me at all. In fact, I'm encouraging you to do it. So once we get the money in, you're going to see some commercial marketing campaigns. Nothing for ham in the near future for me. Sorry. Oh, you know what I do have for you?
Oh,
Frank,
wait, there's more.
but wait, there's more. Do you have those maps handy?
The maps.
It's a
Oh.
Dropbox link to the maps for everybody.
I don't know if I still. I'd have to dig through our conversation. So I'll
Okay,
send
I
you
am
the 10
going
to
to
put
look.
in
While you guys
description
are
later.
talking, I'm going to look for these. I made maps for everybody, every United States, and I think I did Canada. And if you want one for you, but it shows you geographic north versus magnetic north from your grid square location. So you can figure out if if Luxembourg is actually in Luxembourg when you point your antenna.
Cool.
So I'll find
Um,
those while you guys are talking.
Very
I'm
cool.
trying to dig through our conversation real
Okay.
quick, but we chat so much.
It's fine, buddy. I got them.
Okay.
How do I get a link to you guys?
Drop it in the private chat.
Okay, give me a second.
That should be right below my ugly
Drop it
mug
like it's
here.
hot.
While we're waiting for that, I guess I'm next, Tim. Okay.
What you got coming up,
Uh,
Frank?
Thursday's
Yeah, sure, why
NorCal
not?
swap. Come see if I get jammed or not. Got it, Mark. Friday is my Fridays with Frank. So come on by, say hi, and ask all the questions, including how am I doing on Morse code? Probably
How are
won't
you
change
doing
in the
on
next
Morse code?
48 hours, but we'll see. That's it.
Right on. Jeff, how
Let's
about you?
see. I got a video I need to finish up. Hopefully I finish up before Sunday. I want to go out this weekend. It should be nice and cool this weekend here in the Delawares. Yeah, and I want to do a bunch of other things too that not house chores, but I have to fix a piece of trim on my car. Just got the parts today that I needed. I want to go out and dig for some fossils, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet this summer.
See, nobody mentioned metal. Nobody mentioned metal
I know
detecting
two
and-
hams
and
down
other-
that live south of me that do metal detecting. They go to beaches and parks and mostly beaches they go to, and other places.
Was it GPR? Nobody does GPR. We mentioned
No,
that.
no,
Ground
they just have
penetrating
the
radar.
regular metal detectors. But yeah, I really didn't talk about any ham adjacent hobbies, but I mean, I was gonna say like bonsai, so I could take my little antenna and stick it against my little tree. But I kind of just got started back into that. I always had my trees die, so I never had a large collection. So maybe once a little bit older, I could do it now. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, hopefully I can get on the air this weekend. That's my big thing.
Is the bonsai tree? Is that meditation therapy?
I just like the way they looked. I've
or
always liked
was
the
it
way they
just-
look.
Okay.
If anyone knows anything about botanical stuff, the Longwood Gardens is not too far from me. That's a former DuPont estate
Mhm.
in southeast Pennsylvania, just over the Delaware line, that was turned into a huge museum of gardens and all kinds of stuff. And I went there one time and I found their bonsai room and was fascinated by it. Just fascinated by it. So that's kind of where my hobby started.
You too.
Yep,
and
and I
you do
you
that
can do
at
that at
home.
home too.
I wonder how many people started doing bonsai trees.
I was thinking that too. I mean that I think I got an interest in that. I think it was, I don't know, whenever what's the kid's name? The character, Ralph Macchio's character? Danny, yeah. Him and the girl
Danny
went up to
something.
get some tree that was like on the side of a cliff, and I was like, that tree looks kind of cool. It was
that was the one where I went to Okinawa.
Yeah, it was like
It was
two
like
or
2 or
three.
3,
But yeah,
yeah.
I mean that's kind of
With-
that's where it
with the
started there
drums.
too. That was earlier on. But yeah.
So real quick, Tim, I have a screen share. This is and I dropped it in the chats already. This is the type of mapping that Mark's done for us.
So these are azimuthal maps based on your grid square location. So there's, wherever you are, and if not, I can make one for you because it's all programmatic. It shows you where all the other grid squares are in a geographic and magnetic, not declination, but magnetic bearing.
So I'm about 93 degrees off from that AO 69 in Alaska right now.
Yeah. So there's one of these for every major and minor grid square. So every 2-letter and 2-number combination in North America. I don't think I did Mexico because there's not a lot of hamming going on down there, but I think I did Canada and North America and United States.
So I dropped the link for that.
Awesome.
And in honor of Vince not being here,
You just used the
nope.
key.
I'll do it again. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it live.
Do it live.
I just heard jibber jabber.
I heard 73.
That's what I heard.
We'll take your word for it.
All right.
Vince can fact check
Well,
me later.
I've
What's coming up
actually-
for you, Tim?
I have got a cabinet full of projects. Actually, some projects that are probably, I bought them with the anticipation of doing them, making a video on them. And they're on their second and third iteration of their project. Right. So, I mean, what I've got, they're not even worth making their videos. So like one of them's just a desktop MIDI adapter thing to do remote for the Flex software. He's already built another iteration of that. Now has a screen built in. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm still going to do these things. Some videos probably coming out of that and doing those kind of things. My big giant project at work is finally over. And so I am freed up to do a little bit more and am not burned out by the end of the day that I don't want to, mess around with other things because it's just too much like work kind of stuff. So, I am doing that. So that's what I got coming up. I'm going to just enjoy the rest of the year. Hey, speaking of which, I found this came in today and I'm, this came in the mail for me. Everything for every adventure.
It's a great marketing book.
Kids catalog from
Like
Amazon.
Toys R Us.
Nice.
In your hand.
Right. And so I'm sure we're all old enough. Frank, you may not have been, but growing up
Guilty.
with the
Radio
Sears
Shack catalog
as
too.
kids,
Yep.
around Christmas, you get together with all your buddies and you would sit there with all the catalogs and somebody's mom would make hot chocolate or something. All the kids are there circling all the Christmas stuff. And this thing came in. I've got 2 young kids at home. And the older one probably isn't going to be so much into it. But last year when this came out, my youngest was sitting there doing the exact same thing. And it warmed to my heart. And so this came in today in the mail. And here we are. We're coming into the last quarter of the year. So I'm going to spend some of my time with my kids, circling fun things out of now the Amazon catalog for Christmas. So that is something I'm going to do. Maybe we'll record that and have some fun. I don't know.
Sounds like a fun time.
Fantastic.
But,
You know, Tim, if we're just talking about things we're doing and not things we're sharing on our YouTube channel, these came in today. These are the
Yeah.
all-in-one cables. I was going to try to make a little BBS.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
not-
Have you messed with the Toads
Not
Toads
yet.
digital interface?
I've seen it, but
Have
I
you
haven't
seen
messed
that?
with it yet.
Yeah, soundboard, and it's got this
The
one's
daughter
the
board.
6-pin adapter.
Yeah.
The daughter board, yes, to tie it into radios and everything. So I've got my goal is to get my 897 back on the air and have it act as an
Okay.
APRS gateway or something along the interstate here,
Nice.
because we don't have one down here. So I had it up before I moved the shack out, and I just haven't had a chance to get back around to put something back up. So I've got that now, and I'm gonna
No
do
comment.
that.
Joe.
So
Well, thank you,
All right, guys.
Thank you for letting
Let's
me
get outta here.
crash your party.
oh, not a problem. You always
tried
come with
to,
the fun stuff,
so-
Mark.
Only
So-
three, y'all.
All right, everybody. Well, until next Wednesday, have a great week. Tomorrow night, Coffee and Ham Radios, 8:00. There's some videos coming on the a pre 8:00 Thursday night list. Look for that. And it's Friday night. I'm sure
May.
there's somebody doing something. Saturday night, Josh has got oh yeah, Frank's got something going on Friday night. And so, and then Jason's and Rob, we've got something coming up about that on the thing. Partly my fault because of work and maybe a slight lack of interest. But we're going to push that again and keep it going. So more about that later. Everybody have a great week.
73.
73.
33.
Yeah.
All right.